This is Chilling.
They say you cannot change the past, but you know what you can change? You can change out the blindness to the past. The lady I have on the show today, the one I'm going to sit down with in this hotel, has no limits when it comes to success. You know, she's had this humble beginning from a refugee camp in GOMA to becoming a very successful entrepreneur. You know what? This lady is going to inspire you through her story. And if you're not inspired, then I don't know how you get inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best of the good life. My name is Drogo and this is Chilling. Come with me.
In 1997, Nicole arrived in Uganda as a refugee from the DRC. 2 babies in her arms, her husband by her side, and nothing but hope in her heart. What started as a survival skill became her calling. From a small home salon to founding Kampala's longest-standing braiding business. Braids protect your hair and elevate your style. In Kampala, there's only one go-to place to achieve such a perfect blend of style and functionality. The award-winning braiding salon, TSHANI Braids. For 2 weeks straight, Chilling will be talking to Nicole TSHANI, the brains behind this flamboyant hair brand.
Hello everyone and welcome to Chilling. Thank you for joining us on the show. Now, one of our core values is to celebrate people that are doing extraordinary things in our community. For that reason, we are celebrating an amazing woman, TSHANI Nicole. This lady fell in love with the craft of braids and hair styling since she was a child. Henceforth, coming up with a foundation called TSHANI Foundation that embodies her commitment to paying back the opportunities that changed her life. Now, before I delve into that and trying to find out where she gets this survivor's remorse from, if you didn't tell me this story like with the horse's mouth, like mouth to mouth, and you wrote a book, I would hardly believe it, because your background is such a humble one. I mean, you come from an area in Congo called GOMA, war-torn. There's a huge tyranny that is even still happening up to now, to making it this big CEO, a big person, a really influential figure. How did you patch all this up? How did you come out from the dust to becoming this very powerful woman? I want to know how your story began, please.
My story began when everything busted in GOMA. And then we decided, let's go to Kenya so that we can find a refuge. Then reaching there, I found myself pregnant because I was just married at that time. Yeah. Then when we reached there, my husband said we cannot continue surviving without making money. I was just a kid. I was just in my 20s. I was 20 years at that.
I want to know even before the 20 years. I know you have a very long story. Yes. We won't be exhausting all of it in this 2-episode interview that I'm going to sit down with you. But did you this is like a mocking question, but did you have a normal childhood, especially in GOMA? Take me through that. How was it like growing up around that area? Besides what everyone has, the perception they have with GOMA. Some part of it was fun, right?
It's actually a beautiful place. I'm born in Kinshasa, but then when we got married, me and my husband, I always wanted to see the volcano mountain in GOMA called the Nyiragongo. Yeah. Yes, I wanted to see that. So we ended up there in the wrong time. Oh. Then the war erupted there. Yeah. Then we had to run. So it's like we left our home without planning that we are leaving home.
Yeah. This is the 90s, right?
This is the 90s, 1994, when there was genocide in Rwanda. Yeah. So all the people came in, then the place became very insecure. So we had to leave because there was so much going on. Then we had to leave. But then back home, I grew loving how to do hair. Yeah. I will always befriend little girls of 5, 10 years because I was attracted to their hair.
Yeah.
And then I'll call them like during holidays, I make their hair. Of course, their parents were happy because their children will look beautiful. And it was my pleasure already, without knowing that actually it will turn out to be my life for good.
Yes.
Yeah, back home, plaiting hair was like something for people who are desperate, something for people who are abandoned, neglected. So every time I will feel like I'm plaiting it, my father will be so much against it.
Yes.
He will say, but why? There is a lot to do. Why hair? Because people who, you know, in Congo, there is a culture where when you get pregnant without a husband, they kind of reject you. You become like that one.
Insubordination.
Yes, it's like you didn't honor the family. So then people in the family, they just look at you in a different eyes. So those were the people who plait hair.
Okay.
So it was like
the reject.
The reject.
People that have been rejected.
Yes, all they have is their hands so that they can survive. It was like a survival mode.
Would you say that you got excommunicated from your family when you were a child?
No, I did not. Me, I got married normally. But I had that passion from the time I was like 9, 10. I will always feel like I want to plait hair. So I will stop where the ladies who are plaiting hair are. I will stop and look at them. Sometimes I'll ask them if I can help them. So me, it wasn't really, me it was a passion. But in Congo, that particular job was reserved for those people who are like, who did the abomination thing, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, but for me, no, I was studying, I schooled very well. I got married in an early time, but I got married.
Yeah.
Everything was normally well. And then for me, being in Goma, we went for honeymoon because I wanted to see Nyiragongo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see the volcano called Nyiragongo.
Mama, is it okay if I call you Nicole?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
yes.
It's out of due respect. Nicole, so tell me, at what point did you accept this path? You know, that my life would lead to a path of, you know, hair, braids and all that. And also, it's sort of funny, every Congolese friend I know, they sort of they know everything. You find one that knows how to cook, they know music, they can play instruments, they can do hair, they can do everything. Is it a Congolese way of doing things? Is it with the hair that you guys breathe, or with the water? What is it about that? The flair, where does it come from?
I think Congo in general, people of Congo, they like style. They like looking good. They like anything good they like. So they are attracted to things that are good. So everything good, they are so attracted, because back home in Congo, in the years that I was born, Congo was like a destination at that time, before the war comes in.
Oh, like a tourism destination.
Yes, it was a destination, so we were a bit already exposed to beauty kind of industry and all that. So yeah, that's why you see people have the taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so here you are, you go to Nairobi. How did you end up in Nairobi?
We ended up in Nairobi, of course, by running away from the war. Then since
So it was you, your husband?
just me and my husband.
And then you
Just
didn't
the
have
two of
any
us.
child by then?
By then we didn't have any child.
Okay.
So when I reached Nairobi is when I discovered that I was pregnant already. So my firstborn was born in Nairobi. And then when we lived in Nairobi, you know, since you have just come running from the war, you don't know how to survive. My husband decided to go back home to make some business, find some things that we saw was not there in Kenya. And then also he will go to Congo and then bring the bitenge, because the Kenyan people, they didn't have good bitenge.
Yeah, so were you living like in a refugee camp? What was the scenario like?
We had some little cash. When we came, we decided to rent a house.
Ooh,
because we had some
which
money.
part of Nairobi?
It was the Komarok in Nairobi. It's just after Umoja, as you are going to the other side of town. I don't know how they call it, but it's called, the area was called Komarok.
Yeah.
Yes. We went there, we rented a house, a small house, yeah. Then after that, we thought that thing of Congo will take few days, then we will go back. The thing started growing bigger and bigger. Until my husband said, we need to survive here. First of all, we don't speak the language, so we cannot survive here. I have to go, leave you pregnant. I was pregnant. He went, left me. I didn't know anyone. It was just me and my pregnancy and the small
Weren't
house.
you worried of how you're going to survive and
I
make it?
was deadly worried, but did we have a choice at that time? We didn't have a choice.
Ma'am, we take a pause. We're going to go into a break because I somehow know that story from her because we were made before the camera and it's so juicy. This is the part that you're gonna love listening to. But in my other introduction before the show started, I mentioned that you can never change your past, but you can change the blindness to your past. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so I mean, history can somehow be rewritten and life can give you a chance to make a change. We shall take a break and we shall be back shortly with another part. Please enjoy chilling and don't move an inch. Stay with us.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Nicole's hands have transformed more than just her hair. Her passion has opened so many doors for so many people, garnering opportunities from her because she's a giving person. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a biblical way? I mean, it's the Christian way you've been brought up in. By the way, were you brought up in a Christian manner?
Yes, I was.
Oh, it's something that you adopted later?
No. My parents were Christian, and my husband, where I married, it was also a Christian family. His mother was a pastor for a very long time in Congo.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So, and when we were living in Congo, my mother-in-law was like, when she was praying for us, she told us, she said, everywhere you go, we are not going to be there with you. As if she knew that we are just going to enter a place where there's no returning back. Yeah. She told us, she said, everywhere you go, me, I'm praying for you, the God that I know. So if you reach wherever you will reach, you check up the sky. If you see the sky is the same with the sky of Congo, you know that God is with you. Yeah. So everywhere where you reach, even if it is hard, you just look up the sky. If that sky is the same sky that you see here in this country, you know that the same God that has kept you here is with you where you go. So everywhere when things became so tough, I will look at the sky. I say, God, I know you are there.
And you use that as a bedrock?
Yes. So every time I will look at it, I know that God is with me. Especially when my husband left and went to Congo and left me with the 2 months old. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I thank God I had a baby, because every time I would look at her, she would smile. She liked to smile.
But what would you feed this baby? I'm just wondering, like, you wake up each and every day just hoping with a grid of hope that somebody, just maybe a lucky person, comes and knocks on your door and says, did you have something to eat? Like, tell me, these random friends, the neighbors, how did they come to discover about your situation, and how did you guys become mutual friends?
Oh, yes, we met at the stairs going down because there was.
Oh, you are in the same complex,
the same
like
complex, yeah.
building. Mm.
So I never open my door. I will wake up, I will sleep. The baby will cry. They will hear the baby through their house. Then they will wonder who lives in the opposite side. Then we met down. They looked at me. They thought I was Congolese. Then they tried to speak to me in French. I responded. They were so happy. Oh, you are Congolese. Yeah, for us also we speak French at that time. Rwandese, they were speaking French. So they decided, oh, you are alone. And then they went and told their mother that there is a girl. That girl there has a baby and she's Congolese. So when I had a knock on my door, I didn't care who was knocked. When I opened like
you
this,
just knew that it's a ray of hope.
I said this is something, because nobody has ever knocked in my door.
It could have been the police. What would you have done?
I didn't care. I cried. I didn't know what to do. The baby cried. I didn't know. I had no money, nothing. So when the woman knocked on the door, I opened like this. I handed over the baby to the woman without knowing who she was.
Nicole, there's something about you and self-preservation. Is it a personal choice in your life? Like, even right now, like you've made it in life, right? I mean, coming from way far to becoming this woman, you're still a reserved person. You're so humble. You're so, you're so quiet. Is it a personal choice?
Yeah, I think it is by experience, seeing a lot. You can realize that life here, it is about lifting others. My father used to tell me, my late father used to tell me, if you want to grow higher, you have to lift people. The more you lift people, you lift yourself. So me, even if you gave me millions and millions, I will still look for who to lift. I will still look for people, because your joy is when your surrounding is at peace. That's where your joy is. So when your surrounding is not okay, you are the only one okay. It doesn't work like that. So, and my pleasure is to see everybody, especially those ones who look like desperate, because I was once desperate. I was once without nobody in my life. I know what it is to have no one in your life. Yeah. Then I look for people who have no one so that they can be my people.
We have really had it easy, our generation. The Gen Zs, your daughter, I'm giving an example, their generation, we have really had it easy. Everything is on the platter. I mean, what have you got to tell them for a person that had such a faint background,
It's just about working hard, being persistent, perseverance, and mostly you have to build. Everything comes slowly, step by step. Yeah. The generation today, they want to fly to what they want.
Instant gratification, we call it.
I think if I did not persevere, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And perseverance shows you different perspectives of life. Oh, wow. So you can see that life is not what you think it is, exactly. Life is not about having the things that you want to have. It's not about that. Life is about relationship. Life is about touching someone.
The cohesion.
Yes.
Be with people.
Yes.
I mean, thrive with them.
Yes.
Grow with them.
There is no riches more than people in your life. Oh, wow. There is nothing. Wow. So I am so glad that today God has blessed me with so many people. And those people, they feel belonging in me, and that is the pleasure.
You can't ignore the fact that fame, money, wealth has overshadowed humanity. Yes. You can't blame this. Is the generation we're living in, where people are glorifying money. Even if you don't have money, Nicole, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I know money is a necessity, but people are the one who make money. Money doesn't make people.
That's good. I feel like I'm in a master class. I'm taking notes. Trust me, I'm taking notes.
Yes, because money will not be there and then you start producing people. Okay. No, we are the one to produce money. So meaning, people are first before money. And people are the one who are going to make wealth. That's how life works.
Okay, let's backpedal. So you're stuck in an apartment alone with a child that is probably starving or malnourished or whatever situation.
Much milk.
Oh, you had so much milk. And then you would at times look through the window and look at these ladies that had bad hair. Exactly. But just because you had a huge barrier of language, you couldn't talk to them. So these friendly Rwandan neighbors come knocking on your door and ask you this one question, and this question is the one that gave you a turning point.
Exactly.
It's the one that opened the light for you. Do you know how to braid hair?
Yes.
What did you tell them?
I told them, well, I can braid because what I've seen it through my window is a bit too bad. I can do better than that.
Yeah.
So that is where everything started.
Yeah.
I braided, I finished braiding. They loved their hair. They were going to a certain school of language in Westland in Kenya, for those who know Kenya.
Yeah.
So when they reached
Westland is like the posh area.
yes. They were also posh people because they came from the government people of that time in Rwanda. So when they went there, all their government clan people, they said they loved the hair. Where did you do this hair? It was like God has anointed that hair. It was like attractive. Even on the road, people would stop them. So the younger girl, who was like 18 or 19, decided to get a book and a pen, made appointments for me.
Okay.
He made appointment for 10 days, every day.
And did you know what she was doing? Did you even acknowledge?
No, I didn't know.
Or
She
you
came
like-
home with
Yeah.
happiness, come to hug me. Thank God for the language, because we could express ourselves easily.
Yeah.
She came and told me, you know, I got for you people for 10 days. And then me, my worry was, what about my baby? Who will carry my baby? They said, we are here. So they will come and take away my baby. I'll plait hair in peace. They will even help me do the finishing.
Yeah.
And they told me the price at that time. It was equivalent to $50.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot.
By the 90s.
Because at that time, because they were living in Westland, the salons there were charging that money, but they were getting less value of their money. But with me, they were getting 3 times the value of their money.
Okay.
So it was the good thing. So every day, somebody will come to the apartment. They will direct to my apartment. I will plait. They take my baby. They feed my baby. They do everything. $50.
And you never had the guilt of taking that money.
No,
because
before
what belongs to Caesar has
Yes.
to be given to Caesar, and you had to be paid.
Yes.
I mean, you didn't have that guilt conscience of getting that money, right?
Yes, before, when I plaited the girl before, I refused the money because...
And she even actually wanted to give you money. She gave you an advance
yes,
for that.
Yes,
Even after her
yes.
opening this portal for you,
Yes.
which is like a great pot
great.
of wealth.
That is it.
Yeah.
So with that money, I was able to pay the rent for advance rent and all that. And then I had a lot of money. By then, like in 3-4 weeks,
In accumulation.
I had like $1,000 with me, something I didn't have. When I did not have the money, I'll look through the window, I'll see people with bicycle carrying milk. There is a milk in Kenya called maziwa lala.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is like bongo type here. I loved that milk. So every time I will see people in bicycle going to deliver, I will pray God. I say, God, if I can only have this milk.
Yeah.
And then I will see people carrying eggs. I say, oh God, if only I can have this egg.
And now look at yourself. You have
I
enough
don't
money to buy an entire store.
I no longer even eat. I don't take milk because I am trying to keep my weight in place, and
Yeah.
you know. So when I started getting money, I had all joy in my heart. But still, I was missing my husband. I didn't know if he was alive, if he was dead. I didn't know. So it reached a point where those girls decided to move because they were supposed to go to Canada as a refugee. They decided to move. And then me too, I felt like lonely in that place. I decided to change the place because the owner wanted to do some renovation. Then I was like, when my husband will come, how will he find me?
Nicole, let us not rush this. Like I told you, we are going to draw a sequel, right? Let's shift into another episode. Like you mentioned it, the support system, your husband coming back home is everything. It means more than money. You've said that humanity has to always thrive more than resources or money. But this is what we're going to discuss about, how you landed in Uganda and what was that venture like, and also how you made a conscious decision of developing this foundation. A lot of people are familiar with the brand, especially on Instagram and other socials, but they don't know the brains behind it. And that's why I'm really pinching myself right now, because I'm having a pinch myself moment for sitting down with you. This is not something that you casually do, you know, sitting down and telling your story. I'm so delighted. So we're going to make a cliffhanger that is going to shift into another week. And yeah, you guys, you've got to really, I apologize for this, but we shall see you next week with another incredible episode. You know, we just want to take scoop by scoop. I don't want to rush it. Otherwise, I'll spoil the juice of it. See you next week with another interesting episode. My name has been Drago. This is the show for you, and the hashtag is UBC Chilling. Go on that hashtag on X and trend with us. You could perhaps even send in your questions or give us your thoughts about our incredible guests, such extraordinary women that are shaping up this community. Wow, what a delight. See you next week. Bye. Take care. Ciao.
Next week on Chilling.
When we said we were going back, that was 97, the war of Banyamulenge started in Congo. Oh no, there is another rebel movement that has come called the Banyamulenge in the eastern Congo. We were supposed to go back to the eastern, so we couldn't. And then my husband said, Kenya, I don't want. Maybe we go to Uganda to wait. When that war will finish, we thought it will